Good morning and welcome to All Abilities Homestead. If you're new here, my name is Deb and my goal is to encourage and inspire you to live your dream life in spite of any physical limitations you may encounter. I've been in a wheelchair for over 25 years now, but I still lead a normal, happy, productive life, and I hope to show tips and ideas on how you can adapt to be able to do anything you want to do. These are my grandsons, and follow us as we share this journey. Okay, today I am making Chex Party Mix. Is it really fall if you don't have Chex Party Mix in the house? So I've already got my butter in here melting. That's a cup and a half of butter. And I'm adding half a cup of Worcestershire sauce. Stirring that together a little bit. I am using a roaster oven because this way I can do it all by myself. If I use the oven, I have a hard time getting in and out of the oven, getting my wheelchair close enough, and so then I have to ask somebody to come help stir it every 15 minutes. And this way I don't. I can just take the lid off and reach it without worrying about burning myself. So I've got my butter and Worcestershire. Now I'm adding 3 tablespoons of, if I can get a hold of it, 3 tablespoons of seasoned salt. There's 1, 2, and 3. And then I'm adding 1 tablespoon of garlic powder, not salt. And then 1 teaspoon of onion powder. Again, not salt. If you did salt, it would be way too salty. Well, I'm getting down to the end on that. Okay, so that's all my wet ingredients and my seasoning. I'll go ahead and stir it up and get it incorporated into the butter. And then I just start dumping. I'm making a huge batch, so I'm not going to take the time to measure all the cereals out. I think normally it says like 9 cups or something like that, 3 of each kind. And I use scissors to open my bags because my hands won't let me pull the plastic apart. So there's corn chips. And a whole box of rice chips. And then I'll give that a stir before I get the roaster full. Yeah, I saw one jump out over here. The roaster is set on a cedar chest, and I use this as my makeshift kitchen because I can't reach the kitchen countertops, and if I tried to use the stove, I would end up burning my arm every time I reached across a pot. So I set various appliances down on this, and they're just low enough for me to reach. Now, I'm going to keep dumping. This is some butternut squash pretzels that we bought to try, and they're okay, but they're not anybody's favorite. But maybe if they have all the extra seasoning on them, they'll get eaten. So I throw those in. This is a whole bag of regular pretzels. And I'll give that a little bit of a stir too. Okay, then I had bought wheat thins to see if my grandsons would possibly eat those to be a little bit healthy, and they weren't big fans of them, so throwing them in here. Again, maybe when they have the extra seasoning on them, they'll give it another try. You can pretty much throw anything in. Some people throw in bugles and the little mini Ritz crackers or oyster crackers. So those are options too. I don't know if your family is like my family, but everybody has favorite parts of the Chex Mix that they like and other parts that they won't eat. And for the most part, my family does not eat the nuts. There will be a whole container left of the nuts in the bottom of it. And so then the next time I make party mix, I recycle them and throw them in another batch. This particular time, I went to the food pantry, and they give us a lot of walnuts and almonds. And walnuts I can mix into my baking, use them quite a bit, but the almonds I don't really, but I do like to eat them. And since nobody else in my family is going to be eating the nuts anyway, I'm just throwing almonds in here. So there's about 2 cups worth of almonds. I know it looks like more, but trust me, it's about 2 cups. And giving that a little bit of a stir. And then this particular day, when I went to the store, they did not have wheat Chex. So I'm throwing in some Cheerios, just for another little shape. I'm going to use about half of this box. And then I'm sure that I will be making more party mix before Christmas. And I'll use the rest of this box then, along with some wheat Chex. So we'll give it about that much. And again, you can play with these ratios, and you can play with whatever ingredients you want to throw in. getting it kind of stirred in there. And now I'm going to put the lid on it and let it roast. I'll come back in 15 minutes and stir it again, just like if you were doing it in the oven. And in 1 hour, it will all be done. Okay, in about a minute, the timer will be going off, and that will be 1 hour. The party mix will be done. So real quick, while I'm waiting for the timer to finish, I'll show you my kitchen. We have a full kitchen here that has a stove and oven and all of those things. And when I have help, my grandson or my daughter or son-in-law, sometimes I will use the big oven and let them get stuff in and out for me. But it is a little bit hard and I don't want to burn myself. So this is my kitchen setup. This is a cedar chest, so it's low enough that even if I put a pot on it, I can see over it and reach in it to stir it. So I've got a double burner hot plate here to be able to cook on. I also have my roaster oven, which I don't really use that often, and usually I have it stuck in a cabinet because most of the work gets done by my ninjas. I have a Ninja Foodie and I have a Ninja Speedy, and they will do everything that an Instapot does. This one's got pressure cooker, which I use quite often if I get things out directly out of the freezer. I can steam, which I use when I make batches of rice. Slow cooker, sear saute, so I can brown up meats before I make a stew. Alexa stop. I've got Air Crisp, which is an air fryer, and I use that quite a bit. That one and the Speedy will both do air fryer, so sometimes I'll have chicken nuggets in one and fries in the other, or I've even done a steak in them. They're pretty good air fried. We got bake roast, which I have baked a cake in here. If you get little 6-inch pans, you can bake bundt cakes and all kinds of cakes and brownies. Then broil, which I've never used on here, and dehydrate I've never used because I have a big Excalibur that I use whenever I make jerky and things like that. The Speedy has pretty much those same functions, but it also has a tiered system, so you can cook one thing in the bottom and another thing on top at the same time, so you can cook a whole meal all at one time. So most everything that I want to do, I can do with these appliances. I have a panini grill, and I use that when I'm doing grilled cheese sandwiches and stuff like that. And then I have a mixer and a food processor and all of those kind of things too, but I don't leave those setting out. So the timer has gone off, and now that was the last stirring of the party mix. So I'll give it one more toss. I'll get down in there and into the corners. And I don't think I mentioned it before, but this was set $2.50 for 1 hour. Oops, there was a jumper. And then we still get those crunchy bits. You see that piece? Those are the ones that everybody in my family hunts for and they like the best. Those really saturated pieces that got a lot of the butter mixture in them. You know, in order to keep this from getting stale quickly in a container, you want to spread it out some to cool down. This right here is a Lock and Lock pie keeper. It's never had a pie in it. It's either party mix or cookies in the fall time. So, but I like it because it's wide and not very deep. So I just put a single layer down here. bottom. And I'll set it over and let it cool for a little while. And then we have our trick-or-treat bucket, and I'll go ahead and use it and do the same thing. Eventually what's in here will get poured into the other one. But I've just found that if you put this into a closed container right away, the heat from it will cause steam, and the steam causes it to go stale a lot faster. It'll either be soggy or stale. There's no in between. Okay. I'm going to come back every 5 to 10 minutes and stir it again to make sure that I'm cooling it down. And then it will be ready to seal up and snack on whenever anyone gets the urge. So there you have it. Chex Party Mix in a roaster. Have a blessed day.